Yeah. Whoa. I was just watching some video about a reporter that's in Ukraine having incoming fire come in on him, you know. That popped up, and I said, well, I gotta see this. And he was doing a little fucking lead-in with his colleagues who are sitting at desks, and he's saying, yeah. He said, I'm out there. And he said, I'm out there. He said, in the trenches. He paused a little bit, and then he continued talking with the soldiers, you know, the Ukrainians, not the separatists, the people that consider themselves Ukrainians still. Not only was I interested in seeing them getting shelled, I was interested in getting another look at the Ukraine. It's been a while, you know. It's where I got this hat. After I got released from custody. 13 American dollars. Fits like a glove, takes 40 below wind chill. Howling winds. Good hat. And he says he's out there in the trenches. And immediately I wanted to stop it and start talking about this. Because I'm like, okay. I'm imagining him walking around in the village in an encampment. And I'm thinking, when you're actually talking about war, you can't use this cliche of out in the trenches. You know, you're talking about war, you better be in the fucking trenches. Don't say you're at the KP fucking tent or the PX getting free 6-packs of beer. Don't just muddle it down and make it sound fucking wonderful. So I wasn't expecting to see much. But then it shows the footage where he's out there. And they're actually in trenches. Not only just in trenches like you'd think World War fucking I, trench warfare, and all these trenches have just been built up and they're fucking mud and clay and it's raining and you're walking. You got fucking jungle rot on your feet, desert boot, whatever the fuck it would be called back then. Just fucking soggy feet, skin coming off. That's what I'm thinking about trenches. But these trenches look like they were fucking there for a long time. I don't know. I'm just having a flashback of memory because I didn't put too much thought into it at the time. It seemed like there was grass growing down the side. Nice trench. So they're actually out in the trenches and there's artillery going over. And they're talking about it, and yeah. And he says, ooh, he kind of ducks a little bit because one goes, not like, you know, not that close. But you could hear it, and he says, see that? He says, when you hear that, it means it's close. And I'm giving people advice for when artillery's coming in back home. And so then they leave there after the artillery's gone. It cuts, and they're in the village where half the people have already left, and they're just talking all of a sudden. And you know, the thing is, I know the sound he's talking about. 2 different occasions where I was able to hear that. First was when I was still at Bragg, you know, 88 or 89 or something. We were just out in the field, and they had artillery out there. And they were firing rounds over us. And, you know, it's just training shit. And you hear it go, and it goes, whoosh, whoosh. You hear it go, whoosh, comes over, and you're like, it's so exciting. It's like, wow, it's just like on TV. And that's how I spent so much of my time in the military. None of it was suffering. I laughed at all because it was just like being on TV. People who suffer from shit like this, they don't want to be a star. in their lives or anybody else's. They just think everything's terrible and nothing is fun. And everything is fun. Get to throw grenades, shoot rifles, learn to run like a goddamn super soldier, fighting almost every weekend just because everybody in your unit, when you walk down the hall, they're drinking and they jump out of a door and tackle you. Had the medics chasing. You know, this is fun stuff. But then the second time was in Iraq. We were outside al-Basra at that point, and the 3-day war was over, and it was 91. And engineering unit, we were just going around blowing shit up. Airplanes, everything else. They had all the airplanes pulled out of the hangars and down on side streets, so we had fucking blow those up, MiGs. But the one time we found this place, it was full of ammo and all this shit. We were blowing shit up. We were gonna blow that up. Interesting, walking through the place, I looked, and I was told that Amman Jordan was our friend. You know, the Prince of Jordan, the guy in Amman Jordan, and they said they are our friends, but I'm looking on so many of these crates and they've got the stamp on it and it says Amman Jordan, country of, you know, the fucking, and I say, yeah, where'd you get your fucking supplies? From that guy over there that says he's our friend. Somebody's working it good. He was able to walk away clean on that one and still try to get us killed. But so we were blowing this place up, and we'd be back. And the one we did, it was just astounding. You'd see it go, and a couple seconds later, this wind would just go blowing your pants and everything back. It's like, wow, imagine a nuclear weapon. This is just small shit. Imagine Dresden, you know, Germany, the firebombing they went through there, which killed more people than Hiroshima and I think Nagasaki combined. What they did to them. But so somebody rigged something wrong, and it fucking, we were out back away from this bunker where they had all this shit. It was building this place, and they blew it up, and we're all parked back away in Humvees, you know, our Humvees and everything there, and I'm standing by my Humvee, and all of a sudden, and this shit just starts coming in on us, and it's going, whoosh, it's going over, whoosh, and it's coming in, and it's whoosh, and everybody's like, ah, and I said, ha, 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 ha. And I truly, I'm sorry, but I slowly crept, just, you know, okay, I probably get out of the way of fucking shrapnel. And I got on the side of the Humvee over here, and I can hear the radio going, and you got somebody at another location saying, we've got artillery coming in. And on this side, this calm guy's going, you don't have to worry. It's not armed. It's, you know, it's not armed to blow or something. So, and he says, not armed my ass. He said, I got people bleeding over here. And I'm going, ha, 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 somebody fucked up. And I saw the one come, came in over by a Humvee where Staff Sergeant Miller was hiding behind. And it came in between our little area, and and it was going through the dirt, spinning like one of these jacks, you know, but only had two, and it was just like fireworks, you know, and stuff. And I like, wow, it didn't blow up, but so I know what the artillery sounds like that he's talking about. If you're hearing it, it's pretty fucking close. And so I had to watch that. And then they're in the village, and he's just talking, you know, they're thinking everything's okay. All of a sudden, and immediately, you know, the camera, whoever's running the camera, there was just, And you lost everything for a minute. He was like, what the fuck? But then he went right back to the dude that was reporting, and he had his helmet, and he was just squatting down onto the ground, near to the ground, had his helmet like that. But I said, handled it pretty well, you know? He wasn't screaming into the fucking, you know, he handled it pretty well. It was all reasonable. And then these Ukrainian soldiers are like, you know, we got to get out of here. And so then it shows they're running, and there's no shame in running out of town when there's artillery coming in. No shame at all. You got to put some distance in between you. But at the same time they were running, they weren't running like this. They were pacing themselves. They said, we got to get out of here and get to a place that's safe, be able to run long enough. I don't know, maybe you want to leave the cameraman behind at that point. I don't know. All I'm saying is he was in the trenches all the way, man, all the way. You handled yourself quite well. Look at this fucking hat. It's a Ukrainian bought hat. Lvov, where they've got statues of Lenin in there, and a beautiful old culture with a bunch of people living in the train station. 13 American dollars in time in the custody of the Ukrainian government. You could have yourself one of these hats too.